Fishkin is live on idobi Radio.
I was booking a lot of Shapiro and my bands on the DWP festivals, Aftershock, Welcome to Rockville, Sonic Temple, all that. So, he was like, hey, have you ever wanted to book festivals? I was like, fuck, that is like no limitations to the artists I work with. Creative, cool curation. So they actually hired me at first to book the Woodstock's 50th anniversary festival.
So you only work at tiny up-and-coming festivals.
Yeah, very, 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 very small ones. Very small ones.
Damn,
yeah.
That's sick. When was that?
That 2018.
Okay.
2018, I think I went over there, and I thought I was just gonna be over there as kind of a trial period, and I was like, oh shit. When I don't know if anyone knows about Woodstock 50th anniversary, look it up. We don't have to, when it imploded, I shall say, I thought that was it. I was like, oh, well, that was a short-lived festival career, and they were like, no, man, we want you to stay on. And I stayed on for another 5 years. Gary taught me everything I know about booking festivals and this space. And I rode that till the wheels fell off. I decided I wanted to kind of jump and see if I could create something different. If I could, not just book those specific rock bands, but kind of, I saw the industry going in a certain direction. Yeah. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to expand and create something in that direction and just have no barriers to what kind of artists are on my festivals, which there were a bit at DWP. So jump ship. And yeah, I ended up over at Insomniac, and Insomniac brought me on to build out a festival department, a rock festival department. And once I was there, we brought back Warped Tour.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's so fucking cool.
I hate talking about myself, by the way. That's why I like speed through this shit. I'm like, yo, let's get through me. But when I went over to Insomniac, my first intention was to build an experiential rock festival in Southern California, kind of like the, stagecoach of rock in SoCal, or the Coachella of rock. And man, if anyone knows anything about it, festival booking or experiences, that shit's expensive, dude.
Yup.
And so it was a really freaking expensive project. And, the Emo Night guys, TJ and Morgan, I work with them too. They're incredible guys. They've known Kevin for a while. Kevin and I have known each other for a while. And then Maureen Valker, she worked at Warped Tour in catering in the 90s, So once Kevin found out that we were all under the Insomniac umbrella, he was like, man, look, 5 years since it's been gone, Warped Tours, I would like to take another stab at it, kind of reset the industry again, shake it up, and what other place to bring it than with all of you guys. So we ended up being able to resurrect the iconic Vans Warped Tour,
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Awesome to hear. And now, this isn't the first time you worked with Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because you worked on 360 Fest.
I worked on 360 Fest a little bit with him. I helped. I didn't do a lot on 360 Fest. I was actually managing at that time, so I had some artists on 360 Fest. But I helped them get artists and stuff like that. This is the first time I'm working with Kevin in this kind of capacity.
Gotcha.
I think I'm one of the only people in rock who didn't work on Vans Warped Tour back in the day. So I feel like it's such full circle because, how can you be a festival promoter and buyer and not work on Warped Tour? So full circle moment for me in the, sense of my career.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's been really fucking rad. What an incredible human. You know him. He's just the best in the world. So
truly.
Yeah.
One of the best, and what an incredible festival to bring back. And what I want to do right now is I want to play a little bit of a staple in the Warped Tour world.
Let's do it.
And a band that I think of when I think of Warped Tour, kind of like in the newer age of Warped Tour, when I started going like in 06, 07.
Yeah.
They were on the tour a little bit after that, but I consider them a big staple, is Boys Like Girls.
I love Boys Like Girls.
I'm pretty sure I remember them and Paramore going back to back on Long Island one year.
Isn't that wild?
So wild to think about.
I know.
I'll never forget, one of my biggest regrets of shows I didn't get tickets to when I was a kid. I was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. I remember I went to my first show ever, and it was basically what's now all the bands are on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
It was Cobra Starship.
Yeah.
All Time Low. And then Stereo Skyline, local show on Long Island, about 150 cap. And I ran into Envy on the Coast guys, my favorite band at the time. They're like the hometown heroes. And they're like, yo, we're playing at the same venue with Boys Like Girls in Valencia next week. Like, you should buy tickets. It's going to sell out.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, they're just trying to sell me on a ticket. It's not going to sell out. I'll just try to get tickets day out.
For sure.
Yeah, it was very sold out.
Yeah,
I remember seeing videos of like people outside trying to get in and everything. And from that moment on, I was like, I'm never going to miss a Boys Like Girls show again.
You can't. Well,
So-
you better be at the Vans Warped Tour then.
I sure hope so.
Yes,
I sure hope I'll be at the Vans Warped Tour this year. If I could get a guest
The
list spot.
Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah. If I could get a guest list spot, that'd be tight.
I got you.
Perfect.
We should do this more often. It's
I
fun.
agree. Once a month with Amanda.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfect.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Hell
Especially if Biggie's here.
Oh, Biggie is always here. I don't know how to do a show without Biggie.
Oh, gosh, I'm going to eat him.
He is tiny enough.
I know.
He was just lazy all day, literally just laying in his bed. I had to like pick him up to bring him downstairs to walk him, and then he finally saw the door. He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll go outside for a walk." But I was like, "Biggie, Amanda's here. We have to go on air, bud." He ran straight into the studio and jumped right onto the couch.
That's so cute. He's just an angel. I love him so much.
Truly the best, and he'll be at all of the Warped Tour dates as well.
That's going to be so fun.
Imagine for charity, it's a kissing booth with Biggie.
Oh, we should absolutely do that.
That definitely.
That'd be so cute. So cute.
I would actually have to get his teeth brushed professionally because his breath is gnarly. Granted, after like 1 p.m. at Warped Tour, no one's breath is great, I assume.
No one's going to care.
Yeah. Unless you have your pack of gum in the production room where the AC is on, where your gum won't melt in your pocket.
100%. 100%.
Very, very important, especially this year.
Yes.
So, how did it all come about? Like the first conversation with getting Warped Tour off the ground, because when it ended, it was like a very much like, I'm not gonna come back.
Yeah, I think I can't speak for Kevin, but I think, when it ended, it was 25 years,
Yeah.
and he was like, look, I built this iconic brand. The industry was at a time where it was shifting a lot. Ticket prices were skyrocketing, just a bunch of stuff, prices of bands, all the inflation that's happened that we've seen in the industry. Not fun stuff. But, yeah, and he wanted to go teach. And he was like, man, let me take some time to go teach. He is still teaching, and I loves it. I've spoken at his class before. But, yeah, I think Kevin's always going to have the bug a little bit. You know what I mean? I think he was finally just like, dude, like, if it's going to come back, it's going to come back now. And yeah, so that's really how it started with Kevin. The reach out, he definitely reached out to TJ and Morgan, Emo Night guys, got those conversations going. Just wanted to see if they'd be interested in kind of carrying the torch. I think it is for him to resurrect the brand, help readjust the industry, as well as pass it off, pass it along and make sure it's in good hands, and it's with people who really understand this scene and what's important and the sense of community and all that. So that's how it started initially.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then to stay true to the Vans Warped Tour, there's like, no one would think there's a lot of brand parameters, but you have to be conscious of so many things, because the Vans Warped Tour was a one-of-a-kind festival.
Yes.
It wasn't built on who's going to sell the most tickets every date. It's not grabbing the biggest artists in the world. It's grabbing the artists that people believed in.
Yeah.
And mostly Kevin being that person believing in them. Mm-hmm. So when booking the Vans Warped Tour and helping out, picking out bands and everything this year, talk about like some of the challenges that might have happened, because a lot of these bands that were playing in 2018, 2019, I think might not be a band. Like a lot of the older bands are definitely not bands anymore.
I mean, might not be a band, or might be 10, 20 times as big as they were.
Yep.
And just,
No in between.
No in between. Absolutely no in between. I'm just going to be fully transparent here, like it was very, very, very difficult to book. I think that there is a lot of things that have happened in the last 5 to, 7 years when it comes to, like I said, artist inflation and the business, the music festival business. And with that, it is really, really, really hard to keep ticket price down and get a lot of great bands. So some of these bands we're just priced out of, like you can't. And by the way, that's never what we were just talking about it. That's never what Warped Tour was about, Like Warped Tour was always about dope bands that everyone likes, being a part of what's happening in the community or in this scene at that moment in time, which was punk way back in the day. Now it's this emo pop punk revival stuff. And then also introducing people to new bands while keeping the bands that they loved on there. The Cobra Starships, Boys Like Girls, Chiodos, all that kind of stuff. So to be able to make everyone happy and be able to bridge the gap of new, old, all of these different niche genres was not an easy task by any means. No, not easy at all.
Can't imagine so. And you're reintroducing you're introducing a new generation to one of the best things that happened in alternative music, in my opinion. And now something I didn't mention in the intro is you're also a teacher. So I want to ask you, like, when it comes to like introducing kids to these artists, like especially like the new artists and figuring out the new artists and a way to approach it. How much of that is like, if we have a Venn diagram, I don't know how to word it right now. If we have a Venn diagram, how much is in the center of being a talent buyer / helping bring back a brand by reintroducing it and teaching all in the same breath, like kind of are in the center of that?
As in like being in the know for the bands, or
and
stuff
like kind
that.
of the approach with the fans as like how you approach students with teaching them.
I mean, look, it's a lot of listening. I think being a teacher is listening, It's a lot of listening. It's a lot of asking questions. It's a lot of figuring out the needs of both students and, your consumer. And also knowing that no matter what, it's you're never going to make everyone happy. You know what I mean? So being able to assess what needs are at the core of any of the goals that you have and what needs, can be secondary or tertiary when it comes to everything that we need to do,
Definitely.
I think that's probably it. Just listening.
Yeah.
Which I like to talk, so sometimes I have to chill out and listen. You know what I mean?
So,
but
with the 3 weekends, it's awesome that it's 3 weekends. Well, I guess the final one was 3 weekends too, because technically they did Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so technically 3 weekends. So doing the 3 weekends, geographically, people were like, why? But in my opinion, I was like, DC is like the birthplace of pop punk and emo the way it is. Like WHSF Festival back in the day there.
Yeah.
Like Good Charlotte shot festival song, like one of the most iconic music videos at that festival.
Yeah. I mean, and also it's what we're doing here is we're putting these festivals because it's not a tour anymore. That's what people, it's not a tour anymore. It's not a 30, 40 date tour with 40 bands on it. It's 3 festivals with 140 bands each on them with 8 to 9 stages a day. Like, it's a lot bigger scale right now. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to, one, put these festivals in locations that we knew were going to be able to handle the need and desire for Warped Tour fans to go to, as well as put them in different places around the country so everyone could go to them, So you have one in the West, you have one in the Southeast, and one in the Northeast, I mean, to me, it makes sense, but me,
I mean, it makes perfect sense when you think about
it.
It's like, not everything's catered to said person.
No,
you have to do the work to get the great festival.
100%. And look, it's not to say that those are going to be the only markets in the future. You never know. So we can always introduce more.
You got to put in the hard work to get to a cool festival. There was this little kid I knew back on Long Island who took the SATs and it was downpouring. And he took the Long Island Railroad from Mineola train station to Penn Station to Secaucus on the New Jersey Transit, then took a Greyhound bus in the pouring rain, keep in mind, right after taking the SATs, to Giant Stadium to go see Bamboozle. And that kid was me.
I mean,
and the dime was on my parents.
You're committed. You always have been. Love that. I love that.
So I might do the same thing. I might retake the SATs and take a Greyhound from Long Island to DC.
I'll do it with you. I need to get my brain working in that capacity right now.
Oh, man.
Shake it up.
I can't wait. I'm like planning out. I'm like, am I going to road trip from Long Island to DC? because I got to drop
How long
Biggie.
of a drive is that?
I don't know. I think it's like 4.5, 5 hours.
That's nothing. Of course you are. Because you have to drop Biggie at your parents.
Yeah, so I don't know. But either way,
I think you should. It'd be fun.
We'll see what cars are available at my mom's house.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but I have to give a special shout out to my mom who is listening right now because one, she's listening. Two, she's going to be a grandma by next week.
What?
Yeah, my sister's about to have her first kid. I'm flying back to Long Island on Sunday.
That's so cute. Boy or girl?
She doesn't know yet.
Oh,
she
really?
wants it to be a surprise, which I'm like, I hate you for that.
Who knows? Does your mom know?
The only person who knows is Jax.
I thought you were going to say you, and I was
Nope.
going to say, tell me right now.
Yeah,
Give me a sign. Yeah.
But Jax is the only person that knows because her and my sister have been friends for a while, but they got super close because they got pregnant around the same time. So they've been going back and forth, like talking every single day.
Oh,
and then I'm in a group chat with them. And then sometimes I'm like, all right, text on the side.
Yeah.
But if I need to get either of their attention, that's where I throw a text in.
There you go.
But
there you go.
she sent like the lab results or something to Jax and was like, don't tell me the gender, but you can look.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. What do we think it is?
I'm going to, I want it to be a boy, but I have a feeling it's going to be a girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I'm the only boy in my family. So.
Would you like another boy?
Yeah.
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 Be like, shake it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Like, get some testosterone in the family.
Exactly. Like, I mean, either way, they're going to Vegas with me for their 18th or 21st birthday.
Doesn't even matter. 100%.
It's just going to tailor a little differently what we do.
Yeah.
Or actually, honestly.
No, it doesn't have to.
Not at all.
Yeah.
If it's my niece, she's going to be chugging Jack just like all of us.
Yeah. I'm about to be like 100%. Just run it, you know?
Exactly.
Well, congratulations to your sister.
Thank you. Thank you. And also shout out to Faith, who's said she's listening, but I doubt she's listening right now, and Baby G. So that's very exciting stuff. So I'm excited to head back to Long Island. And then, it's be an uncle. It's gonna
That's
be
gonna be amazing. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it.
It's gonna be weird in the sense that there is a child looking up to me in some capacity.
Scary, huh?
Yeah.
Scary, huh? That's what I think when I teach and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I dropped out of high school and I'm teaching college kids. The fuck? Like, how did I end up here? These kids should not look up to me. But you know, it's fun. It'll be great. You'll have the time of your life.
I'm very excited. The kid already has 2 Glamour Kills t-shirts waiting for them.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
When we were young, in October, I went to the Glamour Kills pop-up because I had to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get it offline. I wanted to be at the first Glamour Kills pop-up. Like, if you like look at my Facebook and you go back like 7 years, like every profile picture from 7 years to when I started my Facebook, I'm in a Glamour Kills shirt.
That's hilarious.
So I had to be there.
Yeah.
And I like saw like the little toddler onesie and like then the kid shirt that says my mom is still an emo kid. I like literally picked it up and like started tearing. I'm like, I gotta buy this.
I mean, yeah. That checks out.
Yeah. So very excited for them to have that.
That'd be amazing. I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And what I want to do right now is I want to play a newer artist who's going to be playing the Vans Warped Tour.
Love new artists. That's what it's about.
And if I'm wrong, so sorry, but I'm pretty sure Lolo's playing.
100% Lolo's on.
Definitely
Yes.
I just thought
if not, that was a good plug.
Right?
She should be, you know.
You should book this artist, Lolo.
Yeah, exactly.
She's playing in Dallas tonight, sold out show. I saw Zemer post about it, which was awesome.
Okay.
And Lolo's an awesome artist. I heard her for the first time during COVID. I remember, or towards the end of COVID, I met up with Tobin in his backyard. First time I'd seen Tobin in like a year plus at that time. Real sad to think that I went that long without seeing Eric Tobin, by the way.
Because he's an angel.
Truly the best.
I know.
And he's like, Fish, I think I have your new favorite artist we're about to sign or try to sign. Like, you should hit her up and get her on your show.
Yeah.
Shot her a DM because she had this really cool music video, and only me being like, I think 30-year-old dude at the time, probably the only 30-year-old dude that got the reference. It was like the Princess Diaries, how they had the M&Ms on the piano.
Stop it.
And I was like,
such a good movie.
Right?
I know.
Like, you're going to have to like practice that wave that they do for when you go by in the golf carts at Warped Tour. Not to everyone. Nice and slow.
Yeah.
We are here with Amanda Phelan, featured on Billboard's 40 Under 40 in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, can you believe it? It's 2025 already.
Wild.
I mean, I can't.
Every time I hear there's like a higher bracket of like 40 under 40, 50 under 50, stuff like that, I feel a little bit better as the years go on about myself. I'm like,
no,
there's still a chance.
100%. I didn't make 30 under 30. I was like, but I also started in the industry like kind of later, I guess, than, people who come right out of college. I mean, I was like 25 when I started, so I didn't get 30 under 30 in less than 5 years.
I was jaded and thrown around God knows how many times by 25.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I'll try this.
I had let's see, 25. What year was that for me? That was 2013. No, I'm doing the math wrong in my head right now. 2017, I think.
Are we the same age?
I'm 32.
You're 32? I'm older than you. I'm 35.
Okay, so.
And so when I was 25, it was 2014.
Okay, so 2014, I was 22 in 2014.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2015, 2016, and 25.
2017.
Yeah.
We do math, guys.
I was DJing every weekend in Hollywood. The beginning, some may argue the beginning of the end for me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, man, 25, that was a good year. But either way, it's 2025, and 2025 is going to be an even better year because Vans Warped Tour is happening this year.
Can you believe it? Everything is going to be cool this year.
I can't get over saying it, and there's so much more to what you do, and it's really cool that this week you came on the show right after the ad mats dropped, and everything is finally chiller on your end, but can't imagine chill by any means.
No.
So we've talked a lot about the Vans Warped Tour, and we've talked a little bit about agency stuff with you, but I want to talk about the teaching side of you, because that was one of the most interesting things when we were talking about it when you told me. So talk about why you wanted to become a teacher. And I mean, besides Kevin and maybe like the dude from Evan and Jaron, that band that's like, she looks at her, she looks at me. I don't know many other people in music who are also teachers.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that guy as a teacher, right? But I'm pretty sure he is a teacher.
Everyone's going to come out of the woodworks and say they're a teacher.
Yeah.
I feel like, the trajectory of a lot of my career has been by happenstance, just like being at the right place at the right time, working hard, getting there. When I was at DWP booking festivals, Berkeley had a program with DWP. So we would keep a slot for a Berkeley band every semester. And I established a relationship with Berkeley, and then they, asked me to come and do panels and, all women's panels, talk to the kids, all that kind of stuff. And I did a few times, and then they reached out to me and they're like, hey, would you teach a class? And I said, absolutely not. Like, no frickin' way, dude. Like, I'm too busy, but that was just fear, I was just fucking scared, like, what makes me qualified to teach a class? And so I declined it for a while, and the dean and Morgan, who runs one of the music programs there, was like, dude, it's you, we don't want anyone else. For this sector, because I teach the business of music festivals. So she was like, we don't want anyone else for it. We want someone who's still active in their career, who is able to, talk to the kids like peers and stuff like that. And so I finally succumbed to the peer pressure and did it, and I haven't looked back since. I'm going on year 2 teaching now.
Oh, congrats. That's so sick.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really rad. It's really cool. Man, these kids are fucking smart.
Yeah.
Like, so smart, and a part of teaching them is I've divided up the class into, like, every class is a different sector of a festival. So, you teach ideation and, ideation of a festival, site ops, talent buying, production, sponsorship, marketing. You just teach various sectors of what it takes to create a festival. And throughout the entire class, their assignment is to come up with a festival, is to come up with an entire festival pitch and all of the different elements that I teach them of what a festival is. Dude, these kids come up with wicked ideas. Like, I'm like, if I, have ever given a couple $1 million, I'm coming to them and saying, hey, I need one of these ideas, because they're brilliant. They're way smarter than I am, and all have their shit together and know what they want to do, and It's really cool. It's very humbling, and I learn with them. I do. It's like I learn with them for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And my apologies if my math is off on this one, but you said you've been teaching for 2 years. You've been in the industry since you were 25. You became a teacher for something you were doing for less than 10 years.
100%, yeah.
And you never went to school for it.
No.
That's badass. That's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I did. I've never thought of it that way. That's my new affirmation in the morning now.
Hell yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah. You should have seen the inside of my head. I was like the Alan GIF from The Hangover with the math equations. I'm like, wait a second.
Rain Man in it over here.
So now when it comes to festival buying and bringing back like an iconic brand like Warped Tour, and obviously that's a full-time job in itself, but that quite literally isn't your full-time job. There's more to it.
100%.
So while you're focusing on such a big project like this that's so front-facing and so important to the community, because I don't know many other festivals that are important to a community like Warped Tour is, and like how much of a staple it is. Talk about how you divide your time and how effective it is for you to be able to have your hands in everything while overseeing it and having an effective launch with a brand that it's not easy to bring back, and it's very easy to fuck up.
A lot of pressure for sure. I mean, look, it's funny because the bulk of my job, and I guess like, the craft I am the master of is definitely talent buying. It's what I've done, it's what I'm good at, it's what I love to do out of everything on festivals. But because it's most of my job and most of what my career has been, it's the easiest portion of it for me.
Yeah.
It's like I just have a system, I have incredible people in place who help me with the back end of talent buying and, the contracting and the asset collection and all of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty systematic, It's really definitely stuff you still have to put effort into and think, but it's not the stuff that takes up most of my time. Genuinely, the stuff that takes up most of my time is, helping to just stuff I've never done before, helping to look at the website launch and make sure all of the artists on there are good and all the pictures are good and all just crazy shit that I've never really had to do or think about, that making sure that we have a good digital team in place, making sure that our creative team is, killing it with all of the branding. And it's most of my time initially was spent on that. And now it's great because there's such an incredible team that's put in place with all of that stuff that really I just have to sign off on certain things or give advice, if I see something going awry, or I, correct it. But Kevin's there too, man.
Yeah.
This is his brand. Like, he knows everything about it. He knows what's good for it and what's bad for it and what's worked and what doesn't. So he makes every decision for the entire team so much easier.
Hell yeah.
He's our trusted dude, man.
I trust him with my life.
I do too.
And I'm pretty sure he knows that at this point too.
Yeah, no, I do too, man. And so many people have that same sentiment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And it runs in the family too, because Sierra is currently killing it right now too. She's representing and managing Chandler Leadin, who's on Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Who has over 1 million monthly listeners. That's an independent artist. I looked yesterday, I think 1.4.
Dude.
So sick.
How insane is that?
Wild.
Like, how insane. I remember meeting Chandler a few years ago and, her being like, hey, I'm an artist, and that's great. And I was listening and she was creating some music. She did it all on her own. Mm-hmm. All of these initial music videos and stuff, she put together on her own. She directed, she she raised the money, all of that shit. She wrote the songs. And I was like, damn, this girl's a hustler. Like, she has it, And all of a sudden, less than 2 years later, she's just killing it. It's so cool to see.
So sick. And also got to give a big shout out to Games We Play, also who's going to be on Vans Warped Tour. Love Evan. And then a small artist that I think a lot of people had to look up when the announcement happened. Avril Lavigne also on the Vans Warped Tour.
Oh yeah, Tiny. Yeah.
I love Amanda was looking at me like, wait, who's this small artist you're talking about?
There's a lot of them, but yeah, no, who is she?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The motherfucking princess. That's who she is.
I know.
Oh man, she needs a crown at Warped Tour.
I know. You know she's never played Warped Tour?
Which is the most mind-blowing fact. The Jonas Brothers have played Warped Tour.
I know. Katy Perry's played Warped Tour.
Yeah.
You know, like, isn't that crazy?
So wild.
I know. So it was really, really cool to get her to play, you know, and get her to have Warped Tour be a part of her tour, and really, really cool for that. Simple Plan's on tour, going to be on tour with her too, or is on tour with her. I don't know if it's announced. Sorry if it's not. And so, my bad. And yeah, so having them both, you know, show up and be on that date is going to be rad.
That's awesome. It's full circle for kids like me, and I'm sure there's probably like maybe 30 to 40 other kids who are going to Warped Tour with the same story. How one of the first shows they went to was Avril and Simple Plan. When Avril did her arena run in like 2003, it was Avril, Simple Plan, and Gob. Yeah. Saw them at Nassau Coliseum. I was wearing a Shade 45 shirt because I thought wearing an Eminem shirt to that show would be cool.
You know what? The fact that you know the shirts you're wearing and these pivotal moments in your life is crazy impressive.
Could not tell you anything that happened on the 3 calls that I was on today.
But like the shirts we got on lock for that moment, you know?
I could tell you which eye my bangs were were covering. It was a go to the left kind of day.
I know, right?
But now that's awesome. And now here's a question. Has there been anything you've been teaching while in your class that you've used for yourself and it was kind of like oh shit, why didn't I think of that in the moment of actually being at work?
Honestly, the biggest thing is having all of the students who are, a lot of them really interested in this music, you know, and wish they could have gone to Warped Tour or were around when Warped Tour was what it was and is going to be again. But I always ask their input. I always ask for their ear. I always get advice on like who they think is cool, what they're listening to right now, like what what they feel like they'd be excited to have on Warped Tour. And it really helps me in the booking realm of things because I'm old and I'm stuck in my ways, you know?
I feel you. If I was a talent buyer and anything was up to me, Shania Twain would be on the Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah, Shania.
Fish, who are 3 artists you've been listening to recently? I don't know. Shania Twain, Third Eye Blind in 1975.
Yeah, no, they just, they're really great. I get to listen to new music that they send me and really make sure that I'm held accountable for the new, cool, young stuff, you know? So that's what I do probably most.
That's awesome.
With them. Yeah.
You're not just a teacher. You're a cool teacher.
I fucking am, dude. I am. I know. Whenever I start class at the beginning of the semester, I always have to tell them that. I'm like, guys, everybody, you know, if I offend anyone, I'm sorry. I cuss a lot. Like, this is who I am. You know, I negotiate with people for a living. And so, yeah, if I upset you, let me know. And everyone seems pretty psyched that I do cuss a lot. So it's fine. And it's a win-win for everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now, after I mean, the ad mat's out. Most of the bands are announced right now. There's definitely some more surprises happening.
So excited for it.
So excited to find them out because I don't even want to know what's happening. I haven't asked anyone about anything.
Really?
I want to legitimately find out as it happens for the most part.
You're a rare breed because the amount of texts I get is insane.
Oh no, like I could not care less. I was like, when I see it, it's when I'm supposed to see it. I know I'll be at the dates, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be excited too. Like there's a handful of bands like that I'll still buy tickets for most of the time. Like the Maine, like that's one band. Like I feel like a kid every time I go buy tickets for.
Yeah.
Them. Like,
No,
it's certain things like that.
I mean, what is it? May 19th. Probably 22 bands for Orlando will be announced.
Ooh.
So we put a save the date out. That's a big bulk of it. A lot of people have Radius. If anyone understands what Radius is and can put May 19th and Radius together, then you'll be able to figure that out. And hint, hint.
Oh man, it's because of Shania's residency, right?
It is freaking Shania, dude. She's our girl. But yeah, so there's that, and then in booking Warped Tour, I think one of the craziest things about it was, making sure that we have bands, a lot of bands that everyone will like, making sure that we have bands that give fair prices and want to be a part of the community so we can keep the prices great and for the consumers. And also be really artist friendly when it comes to, hey, if you have another show you want to play a few months before in the same city, do it.
Yeah.
We'll hold off on announcements. So we're really trying to make it artist friendly, make it consumer friendly. There's going to be merch row. They're all going to have their tents set up and all that stuff. So, that's why. If anyone is wondering why bands are held off, so they can go make money on headline shows too,
Hell yeah.
And survive, man. Feed their families, yo.
If you're listening and you're going to be in Merch Row, I'm a 2X right now, but I started a diet on Monday, so hopefully I'll be a 1X or a baggy 2X. Just keep that in mind, everyone. But so what's next for you throughout the year? Because I can imagine there's like 80 million projects and probably 79 million you can't talk about.
Yeah,
Roughly.
There are definitely some other projects in the works that I can't speak about. I think what's crazy, and a lot of people, if you're not in the talent buying world, it's crazy to think about, but dude, I'll get the dates for 2026 Warped Tour and we'll have them solidified probably by April, or start booking for next year by May,
Yeah.
So it's always just a constant, that being able to make sure that all of the artists are taken care of on site, get the site prepped, all of that, and then I have one or two other projects that are with some really rad people that I'll be able to probably speak to hopefully in the next few months. I'll come back and chat with you about it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every time you come on the show, it's going to be like WWE. Tune in next week
for
another big announcement.
But doesn't that make it fun? Life needs to be exciting, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming by the show and hopping on for the last hour, because this hour has flown by, honestly.
Dude, I can't even believe it's been an hour.
So wild. Congratulations on everything with Warped Tour. Congratulations with everything. Not only the Forbes 40 under 40, also being an incredible teacher for the last 2 years, and just someone that everyone looks to, and being an incredible talent buyer.
Thank you.
And also, Fishmas was probably not possible without Amanda as well. Amanda helped out so much in the end and saved me.
I forced people, Sam.
Truly did. It was great. So forever grateful for that. And
of course.
What I want to do right now is, if anyone, or if you want to give out your social media for anyone to keep up with you, feel free to.
Yeah, of course. I'm at the Little Amanda, THE, the Little Amanda. You can find me on there, and I'm not crazy active on social media, but I'm there. So hit me up, pitch me bands. Follow my crazy life, and I'll engage.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you again so much. And I want to play a band, and it means a lot to me to play this band while talking about Warped Tour. State Champs.
Yes.
Love this band.
Love
Derek's my neighbor now, which is awesome. Tyler's been one of my best friends for 10 years.
Yep.
They were one of the first interviews I did on Warped Tour in 2014, the first time I was on the tour.
Crazy.
And that year was a year I regained my faith in pop punk, because that was during the time where it was a little too pop for most people, so The Story So Far was a lot harder, and all those kids going to those shows would make fun of me because I was always with Stereo Skyline and call me all sorts of words I can't say on uncensored radio still to this day. And then I heard Elevated by State Champs, and they were one of the first bands to bring me in and be my friend on Warped Tour that I made. So seeing them on Warped Tour this year is awesome. And also Derek played this for me in the back of an Uber. I forget where we were coming home from. We were definitely going over the hill somewhere. Coming back from, maybe we were at Naughty Pig. That's where we were. The Tipsy Bartender's Bar. And he's like, yo, do you want to hear some new Champs? And I was like, only if you play it straight off your phone. He goes, all right. He played me this song, and I was like, this is my favorite song on the record. He's like, you haven't heard the rest of it? I go, this is my favorite song on the record.
I know. Yeah. 100%. Love it.
I heard the record. It was my favorite song by a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some other bangers on there, but here is Hell of It off of State Champ's self-titled record. They'll be on the Vans Warped Tour. And sing it, I guess. I don't know what else to say.
Fishkin is live on idobi Radio.